Hello Guardians, my name is Song, or at least that's what they call me on the forums, and today I'm here to bring you the first installment of a series I'm going to call Destiny Informational. The point of the series is to try to inform and explain some of the things in Destiny that aren't on the surface. Now, Bungie has gone on the record to say that they want this game to be more about feel and less about raw numbers. While that's great, it doesn't really help. I mean, what do all of these stats mean? What do they do? What do these perks mean? What exactly do they do? Do they benefit you? Is the benefit of a perk like Underdog worth the downside? Those are all questions that come down to numbers rather than raw feel, and I'm going to try to explain some of them. For my first installment, I'm going to try to give a little information based on characters' build. When I say build, I mean their armor, recovery, and agility. Armor says decreases the amount of damage you can take before dying, but what it really does is increases the Guardian's shield. Now, look at my health. That first quarter that fills up first, that's actually my health. The remaining 3/4 of that bar is what's known as my shield. Now, your health is fixed at 100 HP, and it's the same on every Guardian, no matter what. Your shield, on the other hand, the last 3/4 of that bar, varies dependent upon how much armor you have. Now, a Warlock starts off with 1 armor, 5 recovery, and 1 agility. A Titan starts off with 5 armor, 1 recovery, and 1 agility. A Hunter starts off with 1 armor, 1 recovery, and 5 agility. This is the least amount of armor that your character can have. Some perks should give you more armor or give you various stats, but it's these two trees here that determine how much armor, recovery, and agility your character has for the most part. Now, when your character has 1 HP, or 1 in this bar, you start off with about 186 combined health in PvP. That is between your health and your shield. Now, when one of these says it gives you, it's split, it gives you 2 points within that bar. When it dedicates itself to it, it gives you 4. So, once you have 1 health, it gives you 186 HP. If you have a total of 3 health, so you only have 2 points going into it, you have 190 HP. If you have 4 or 5 points into it total, you have 192 HP. Now, the key here is 5 health. The key here is you want 6 to 7 health. So you want this amount right here. Once you have 6 or 7 health from these two trees, that will give your Guardian 195 HP. That is key, because what it lets you do is lets you survive a trip mine grenade dead on. That does 194. With 195, you will survive it. So that's why I always run at least 6 health on my Guardian. Now, a Titan can get this bar all the way maxed out. Once you get that bar all the way maxed out, you have about 201 health. 201 health is enough to survive a shoulder charge, which is at 200, and that's the most amount of HP you can have from perks. There are some armor sets that gives you increased armor when using a X-based subclass. That's the equivalent of 1. So it gives you a +1 on this armor stat. And that's what armor does. Recovery, on the other hand, is a little tricky. So I'm going to cut down my recovery as much as I can, which isn't enough. isn't much, unfortunately. And I'm going to throw a grenade at my feet. See how quickly my bar regens. Now I'm going to try to max out my recovery. And let's see what happens. It's not that apparent on a Warlock, but the difference between having a minimal recovery build and a maximum recovery build is roughly about a second for your health to start recharging, and then another second for your health to completely recharge. So what recovery does is it increases both the speed with which your health starts to recharge and the speed with which your health actually does recharge. Hi there, Guardian. That's what recovery does. Agility is a little different. What agility does is it increases your running speed and your jump height. Now, the speed with which your Guardian moves, this is my running speed. Right here. If I were to click down the left stick and sprint, that's my sprint speed. Note that agility does not increase your sprint speed, it just increases your running speed. So your speed without you clicking down the stick is what agility increases. And it also increases your jump height, but only the height of the jump before you activate your jump skill. So if I were to jump, that would be 10%. That would be higher with max agility than with low agility. And the difference in both cases is about 10%. Versus a minimal agility build, a maximum agility build will be about 10% faster and jump 10% higher before you engage your jump skill. Is this worth it? It can be. Now, your aim down sight speed, moving back and forth, aka your strafe speed, is based directly upon your running speed. So as your agility goes up, you will strafe faster left and right. Some people consider this very useful in winning gunfights in the Crucible. Also, there are some jumps in PvE that you can only make if you have max agility or near max agility. So it can be extremely beneficial. That really does it with builds, Guardians. So to recap, armor gives you health, or rather increases the strength of your shield, buffing out your maximum HP. With one armor, the least amount of armor you have 186 HP. A Titan, maxing it out, will have about 201. In the middle, you want to aim to have about 6 to 7 armor, which will give you around 195 HP. Recovery increases the speed with which you regain your health, and also the speed at which health is regained. The difference from minimum to minimal is 1 second for when your health starts to recharge, and 1 second for it to actually recharge. Agility increases your running speed and strafe speed and your jump height before your jump skill by about 10%, and that's the delta between minimum and maximum agility. That really does it for me, Guardian. Until next time, eyes up.